What's up everybody, Silver here with another Halo Master Chief Collection Achievement Guide. This time we're doing Headbanging, which is in Halo 4, beat the par score on the level Composer. So start up that level, you can do this on any difficulty, though I do recommend doing it on either Heroic or Legendary. You could actually shoot those two jackals right off the bat, and your Marine buddy normally kills them without you having to do anything, but if you get a couple shots in on them, it will actually count as your kill there, as you can see just happened. So that's pretty cool. So that's a neat little way to get a few extra points right in the beginning there, but it's not 100% necessary. You don't have to do that. Don't feel like you need to. But we're coming to this area, and there's that jackal who is scripted to tear the face off of that Marine or whatever. But we'll just ignore him for a little bit, and then we killed a couple grunts, and then we turned our attention to him, and now we're just picking off people with our Magnum as we go. I should have mentioned before that you should grab the sticky detonator that the Marine drops in the beginning of the level when you open that first door. So I have that at this point and my Magnum. So I'm just going to Magnum everybody in the head. It's just a bunch of jackals and grunts to start here. There is an elite a little bit further up here who we're going to take out with the noob combo. So I'm going to switch my sticky detonator for a plasma pistol. And one overcharged plasma pistol burst will take down the entire shield of the elite, and then we can just finish him off with a headshot from the Magnum. Be aware of those two jackals in the back there that I'm shooting at. Those guys have beam rifles, so you don't want to stand in the open too long or else they'll shoot you and kill you, and they could one-shot kill you. So that's not cool. But once those guys are dead, just jump up here, jump on the railing, and sprint across and jump, and you can actually make that gap pretty easily. It's not too bad. I almost missed it there. I jumped a little too soon. But just immediately run over here to this console and activate the computer thingy, and then just use it for some cover until the Phantom gets close into you, and then you could sticky detonate the grunt on the turret, and then place another sticky detonator, bomb, or whatever grenade right at the landing pad there, and throw another plasma grenade down there just to weaken them as they land on it, then activate it. I should have shot a second one over there much sooner, but I did not. So now I'm kind of on the defensive here, but it's alright. We got a couple more sticky detonations to go, and everyone's dead. You want to grab this concussion rifle, so if he falls off, you could decide to revert to last checkpoint if you want, but it's not that big of a deal if you don't get it. We're just going to do a little skip with it right after this sword guy is done, and he's just throwing grenades because I have the catch skull on, and he just threw grenades all the way off the map, which is fine with me. I mean, I'd like to get the points, and I would like to have shown you an easy way to take out sword-wielding elites, but I guess if they just jump off the map, then we don't got to deal with them. That probably won't happen for you, but obviously you could just use the noob combo if you'd like, because that works against all elites and Promethean Knights and brutes that have energy shields, but there are none of those in this game, so we're not going to worry about it. So the skip with the concussion rifle is fairly easy. I'm lining up my left foot on that little indent on the, whatever it is, the tine of the forklift, and I'm going to shoot the top right section with my concussion rifle right there. Oh god. I meant to just shoot it, and I didn't think this was going to, you know, rock me with just the DMR shot, but I guess it did. So you want to do that with a concussion rifle round, and as you can see, it catapults you all the way up into the rafters and on these pipes. It's a little tough to find out where you are because you're like in some geometry that you can't even see. So I'm trying to jump down, but it's kind of giving me a little bit of a hard time. You want to make sure when you're jumping around, you can see I'm shooting there, and it's not allowing me to shoot because there's something in my way that I can't see. You want to make sure when you're jumping around down here that there's something below you that you could fall onto if you happen to find one of the holes. Apparently I was on a pipe, and I just needed to jump over another pipe, and I was able to get down. So it's a little feeling that area out. Once you get up there, you can't really tell exactly where you need to go, but it's very easy and fairly quick to figure it out. And in order for that glitch to work, or it's not really a glitch, in order for that little trick to work, you do need to have the Cowbell skull on. So make sure you have that on before trying it out, or it will not work. And don't worry, the Cowbell skull will not negate your par score achievements or anything. And as a matter of fact, none of the skulls in Halo 4 will negate your achievement, so don't worry about it. Just throw whatever skulls on you want. Speaking of skulls, and I guess I should talk about these hunters first. These hunters I am taking out with a shotgun and sticky detonator that I found in this room. The shotgun and thruster pack I found in the room before this, like the hallway. You saw me pick it up. And there are more sticky detonator ammo pieces, grenades, whatever they are, in the crate behind me. And now it's to my left. And I'm trying to grab that while I tango with this hunter, which is not working. I'm just going to end up shotgunning it to death, which is a valid strategy. It's okay, whatever. But obviously a sticky detonator would be much more safe. I could do it from a distance. And I'm trying to get to this crate at this point to get that sticky detonator ammo. But he's not having it. I run up and grab it here, and apparently I grabbed the assault rifle instead of the sticky detonator. That's alright, I guess it happens, whatever. So I grab the shotgun again and just shoot him in the back for the kill, and then I grab a sticky detonator and just use it for effect, because that's what I want to do the whole time. So why not just, you know, mutilate his corpse, whatever. But we are at the end of this first section. We are going to have to open this door. Well, we don't really have to even open the door. We just got to activate the panel on my right here. And whoop, there it is. And we are done. It goes to a cutscene. I'm going to skip the cutscene because you don't need a guide to watch a cutscene. So I sped this part up because it's a lot of running and waiting for things to happen. So just follow this path and you're going to get to where you need to go. And there's actually a way to get up and out of the map here, but it's kind of complicated and it's not really worth it for the achievement we're going for. We're not going for a Lazo achievement or a speedrun achievement or anything, so we're just not going to worry about it. But if you do want to find out how to do that, you can check out my Lazo guides, which I have up for every Halo game in the Master Chief Collection. But enough promoting my other guides. Let's get back to this one. Let's talk about skulls. I mentioned I have on Catch and Cowbell at this point. I have on Catch, which just allows, or doesn't allow, it makes enemies throw more grenades more often. So that's actually beneficial in some ways, because they're not shooting at you, and if they were shooting at you, that might actually be worse, because it's easier to dodge grenades than a bunch of different bullets. So that's also very beneficial for, not necessarily in this level, because there's no knights, but when fighting knights, it's actually very good, because it makes them just get into a groove of just throwing grenades endlessly. So it's easy to wrap up around them and assassinate them while they're in the middle of throwing a grenade, if you time it right. But anyway, we're just dealing with the Covenant in this level. So we're just going through hallways here, and it's really just basic fighting. There's no way to get around it quickly unless you get out of the map like I mentioned you could do, but that's an involved glitch and it takes some practice, so we're not going to do that here for the purposes of a par score guide. So also, since we're going for par score, we want to get some kills. So get those points, get those kills, and like I mentioned, I'm totally sidetracking from the skulls I mentioned. Once we get to this point, you want to run to this door. You can actually skip this whole section. You'll notice that it says loading done once you get to this door, and that is your cue to leave this room. It actually opens up the door. It thinks you're in this section, so it loads this whole area and thinks you're done with that room that we were just in. This elite always has his back to you. He's scripted doing a little pointing gesture or whatever he's doing, directing his troops, but we don't care about that except for the fact that he has his back to us, so we're just going to assassinate him every time. So that's a quick point value or point gain that we're going to receive easily every time. And this elite I'm just going to sticky detonate. I missed that one, but I'm going to get him this time, I promise. And I'm just totally getting sidetracked from the things I want to talk about, like the skulls. So the skulls are mostly a hindrance to you, except for the fact that they give you more points. They increase the point multiplier. So although they make the game harder, such as throw more grenades at you or give enemies more health or whatever, they do increase your multiplier, so you get more points per kill. So that's also a reason you want to have a higher difficulty on, is because you get more points per kill with a higher difficulty. So with a legendary run through, which is what I'm doing here, you get a 4 times multiplier for every kill, and then skulls will stack on top of that as well. So I have on 4 skulls, I believe, right now. I'm going to show you how to get out of the map here, although I am going to fail at it. You can see you want to go in between that light and this white door frame, and then you can grenade jump up and then onto the top of the hallway, on top of the ceiling actually. I totally failed at this, and I'm going to fail again, but this is how you would do it, potentially. But I'm just showing you, how to fail at it, I guess. It is in my Lazo guide. I show you how to easily do it. It's also easier to do with a concussion rifle, because you can use that to boost yourself up as well. But you could do it with a frag grenade. I've done it before. I don't know why I'm having so much trouble right now, but it's probably because I'm recording and posting this for everyone to see. So I guess I'm going to have to fight my way through this room normally, which is not cool, man. But I mean, I guess it's fine, because we're going for points. But there is something that you may not know about points and par score. Time is also a factor, so you don't want to spend all the time in the world, because there's a time multiplier as well, which is weird. That was not the case in games like Halo 3. It is the case in Halo 3 in the Master Chief Collection, but it was not in the original, I don't believe. So it's kind of weird that they added that in. But, oh god, watch out for that elite. That's a sword elite. He's normally invisible, but I already damaged him, so he was visible this time. So you want to watch out for that guy coming up that hallway, and he could wrap around behind you and kill you. So that would not be good. So this room, we're basically just headshotting everybody that we can. And you could actually, if you don't know this, you can run up here once they get to this point, and you could activate this button and it sucks them out into space. So you can do that with all of the waves of enemies actually, but it's kind of tough to push your way up to that point with all of the enemies that are already in the room. So back to skulls. Skulls make the game harder, but it makes you have more points when you do get kills. So it's good to have that on, or some of them on at least, especially if you're on a lower difficulty and you're trying to make up for the fact that lower difficulties don't give you as many points. So I have on Catch, I recommend. I have on Tough Luck. Tough Luck makes enemies dodge out of the way more often from splatters, so when you're driving a vehicle at an enemy, and it also makes them dodge out of the way from grenades and also overcharged plasma pistol bursts. So that will affect you a little bit when you're trying to noob combo elites, but other than that, it's not really affecting your strategies too much. Especially in this level where you have no vehicle gameplay really, except for the Mantis at the end, but in a Mantis you don't really ever try to run over people, so the Tough Luck Skull will not be affected, or you won't be affected by it. It's kind of a cheap, easy way to get points. So we came into this room and immediately assassinated one of the invisible elites. There are two of them. The first one is where Cortana is, where we just grabbed her from, and the other one is further to the left. So we fuel rotted him. There's two jackals and one grunt in this room, this hallway. So I sped this part up because it's a lot of just waiting for Cortana to do stuff, and that hallway doesn't really take too much strategy anyway. The 2 of 3 enemies have their backs to you, so you can just go assassinate them. And they're just jackals and grunts anyway, so you could easily just take them out with headshots. So some people don't like this little section. It is a little bit tough. There's a lot of enemies all in one spot, kind of in a choke point. So there's 2 elites, a bunch of jackals, and a bunch of grunts. So I like to just hang back like I am right now and headshot all the grunts and jackals. It's a pretty safe and effective way to do this. And I like to take out the elites towards the end. You can see I could grab a plasma pistol from this fallen grunt if I would like, and I could noob combo the elites. I still have some sticky detonator ammo left, so I'm going to use some of that. And we could slowly and surely take these guys out. Once you kill one of the elites, the other one tends to draw his sword and move forward, so watch out for that. And we could just shoot these remaining tiny enemies, and by tiny I mean jackals and grunts, and not gigantic elites, and make short work of them. Again, if you don't have a sticky detonator, you could just noob combo the elites once you thin out the ranks of jackals and grunts. That part I remember being a little bit tougher when I was first playing through Halo 4, but if you just take it slow and steady, it shouldn't be too bad. So we are entering the last section here. This is the big fight with the Mantis, and a bunch of phantoms and banshees and a bunch of wraiths come in and ghosts, and it's all just a huge fight. And you can see the composer is in the middle here, and the Didact has found it apparently with his weird scanning devices. But you can see here, for some reason, I decided to shoot my sticky detonator down at these grunts with fuel rods instead of just taking them out with this Mantis behind me. This is actually not a good idea. I don't know what I'm doing. You could see my Mantis is taking damage already before I even get in it, because the grunts are shooting fuel rods at me, but they're actually connecting with the Mantis behind me. So I'm getting into this Mantis, and it's already damaged and smoking, so that is not good. You don't want to do that. Don't do what I did just then, because it is hecka stupid. But anyway, we're finally in the Mantis. Remember that the Mantis could actually crouch, so you could use that to get behind cover a little more effectively. If you don't recall that you could actually crouch in this thing. It looks silly, I know, especially when you do it in rapid succession, and you're just humping the ground as a gigantic mech. But we're taking out all these guys right in the beginning here. There's a bunch of jackals and grunts. They are now done, and some phantoms are coming to join the party. And you want to take out phantoms when you can. They are worth a lot of points. It takes about 2 salvos of missiles, so 10 missiles in all, and about 2 overheatings worth of chain gun ammo. That's not a very good unit of measurement, but if you just fire at will with your chain gun until it overheats, and then do it again, and meanwhile fire 10 missiles at it, that's about as much as you need to take down a phantom. But anyway, you could actually take the Mantis up to this point where we came through this door to get into this section as the Master Chief, not in a Mantis. And you could actually just hang back there. You could see I was very well covered in case you're taking a lot of damage and you need to replenish your shields. The shields on the Mantis don't go up very quickly at all, so you may want to hide behind there whenever your shields go down, especially if you're getting fired at from all angles. So you're going to see me later on in this video do that, because there's a bunch of banshees in my area and they're getting all up in my business. But for now, I'm just going to shoot at all these guys from afar. They're going to drop off some wraiths, some ghosts, a bunch of infantry, and I'm just going to hang back here because A, it's safer, and B, it's much safer due to the fact that I could get behind that little area that I mentioned earlier, and you'll see me do that. so you can see an example of it in action. But this Wraith is always dropped off right where it was over there, kind of to the back right over there from that Phantom. So I blow that guy up. Hopefully we could take out this Phantom as well. So you always want to take out the enemies on the ground that are nearby first, because those are the biggest threats. There may be some turrets on the Phantoms, but you could take those guys out quickly, but then you do want to turn your attention back towards the enemies on the ground, such as ghosts, wraiths, enemies with fuel rod guns like that grunt just had. Also, even enemies with smaller weapons like plasma pistols are very dangerous, so any grunts or jackals with plasma pistols you want to take out, because they could overcharge plasma pistol you, and then you are dead in the water. You cannot move when you are overcharged plasma pistoled for a few seconds, so then you are susceptible to taking fire from a bunch of different people, and you have no defense. You can't shoot or anything when you are in that position, so you want to avoid that at all costs. And that's another, oh, you can see it happen just there. That is a perfect example. You can see I can't move, can't fire, and I'm just at the mercy of all the enemies, because they could continue to overcharge plasma pistol me to keep me there, and that has happened a few times to me, where I take 2, 3, even 4 overcharged plasma pistols all in a row, and I can't move for a prolonged period of time, so that is no good. Try to avoid that, keep your distance, and take out those ground troops. It's tempting to just fire at will at the Phantom sometimes, but you do want to pay attention to what is around you and on the ground. So some Banshees are about to come into this area, so I'm going to back up to where I came from. You can see me going up the ramp here, get this ghost out of here. And you can see all the Banshees in the distance coming into this section. I'm going to back up and safely, well, not safely. Yep, I'm safely not backing up at this point. Get me up here, for God's sake. I was backing up, not up the ramp, apparently. I was going in between the ramp and whatever else was over there. Not cool. Sometimes you just got to look where you're going, especially when that's happening. When you're backing into a wall, it's not a good idea. Bad things will happen. But anyway, you can see I'm just taking out these Banshees from afar. The missiles do lock on, which is nice. And also, your chain gun has a pretty good range on it too. So, just take your time. And speaking of time, I mentioned that time is a factor in this, so very briefly, if you get the par time, you will get the maximum time bonus, which is a 3 times multiplier. So if you finish with 20,000 points and you finish in the par time, you'll get the 3 times multiplier, which would bring your 20,000 up to 60,000, and that time multiplier slowly dwindles away as you go over the par time. So you don't want to spend just 2 hours on this level getting all the kills possible, because then you're just not going to get a great multiplier. But you can see we are approaching the end here. There's just a couple Phantoms. There's probably a few infantry on the ground up ahead because of the fact that I didn't move ahead myself, so they're probably just hanging out over there waiting for me to make an appearance myself. But, oh, here's another Phantom coming in. I guess we'll take him out too. Get a few extra points, why not? And, whoa, God, this guy is really coming at me. I guess there's a little bit more to this area than I thought originally. We could see that was a nice little spot there. I was unable to get hit by their shots, but I was able to shoot them right on the nose and take them out, so that was pretty cool. Good spot strikes again. And I guess there's more Banshees to fight, but I guess we'll, do it quickly. Take them out. We don't got time for this. People know what the gist of this video is now. We're at the end. This ending actually is very long. I cut it out, but there's like 2 minutes of you just standing in a room, which is kind of annoying for just, general flow purposes of a game, but also for speedrunning, because you get to the end and then you got like a minute and a half, 2 minutes to just stand there. So I sped this part up. We're going to get to that room, and then I'll cut to my post-game carnage report. You could see this Wraith. This Wraith usually gets stuck there, so you could actually get a few more points right at the end here. Also, you kind of want to check the area, because there's a turret, a human turret behind me, in front of me now. I'm kind of looking at it. And that actually is sometimes manned by a grunt. So if you start getting shot by a turret, that is what that is. So, but anyway, just run up here. I should have mentioned this way earlier. The par score for this level is 25,000, which we've easily obtained, as you can see here. But that is it, guys. Thank you very much for watching. Click like and subscribe. Leave a comment. Follow me on Twitter at HaloCompletion and on Twitch at SilverScorpion4. That's Silver Scorpion and the number 4. And I will see you guys later for more Halo achievements.